Listen carefully. Stop for a moment. Do not scroll past this message. You did not arrive here by accident. I place this message directly in your path. Give me your undivided attention right now. What I am about to say will change everything. Heaven aligned time itself to bring you here. Turn off the noise of the world because your soul needs to hear my voice. You have been running in circles. You are tired. Your spirit is heavy. You are looking for answers. Every door you try to open seems to slam shut in your face. People have rejected you, and they tried to block your progress because they wanted to see you fail in the dark. They whispered behind your back, but they do not hold the key to your destiny. I hold the ultimate power over your life. Listen to me closely. No person can close the door. I am opening for you. I have the final say. Human hands did not build your destiny, and human hands cannot destroy what I have authorized. Look at me right now. Lift your eyes to my face. Your period of isolation is ending because a divine shift is happening in the unseen realm right now. You have prayed for a breakthrough. You have wept in silence. You thought I forgot your name, but I am stepping into your atmosphere to deliver a major promise. If you feel my presence shaking the ground under your feet, I need you to respond to my voice immediately. Comment Amen right now under this message as an act of absolute agreement between your heart and mine. Do not scroll away. This is your moment of divine alignment. I know you are wondering why your life has been delayed for so long. You see others moving forward while you are stuck in the wilderness. I call this season the protective delay. Remember this name. It was never a punishment, and it was never a sign of my absence from your silent battles. You have been a silent survivor for too many years. You pretend that you are strong for everyone around you. You smile when your heart is breaking inside. You carry the burdens of your family, and you never ask for anything in return because you think you must survive alone. But I see your hidden exhaustion. I know how heavy the load has been for your weary soul. Let us take a step back into your story. I want to show you the truth behind the closed doors. Think about the job you lost. Remember the relationship that ended in painful betrayal. You felt abandoned by heaven. You sat in the dark, and you questioned your own worth because you could not understand why good people suffer alone. But hear me with the deepest place of your heart. Those people did not reject you. I removed them from your path. Those doors did not close because you failed, but they closed because I was shielding your life from an unseen trap. Kicked out of places you did not belong, you were actually being rescued by my loving hands. The enemy wanted to use those rejections to destroy your faith. He whispered lies into your mind during the midnight hours. He told you that you were not enough. He told you that your dreams were dead. He wanted you to give up your destiny because he is absolutely terrified of the light that is rising inside your spirit right now. Look at me, right now. Pause where you are and breathe deeply. Let the worry leave your mind because I am in complete control. The people who tried to push you down have no authority over my plan. I am the Alpha and the Omega. When I declare that a season is over, no force on earth or in hell can extend it for another second. I have watched you fight invisible battles in the shadows. Nobody else saw the tears you shed on your pillow. Your friends think you have everything together. They come to you for strength. You are a refuge for others. But you often wonder who will be a refuge for you when your own world is shaking under the pressure. I am your refuge. I am your fortress. I have been watching your faithfulness through every single storm. Do not call this waiting season a failure, because it has been a holy preparation. I am building a foundation that can hold the massive weight of the blessings I am about to release into your life very soon. Think about the people who tried to close doors on your face. They thought they had the power to stop your calling. They blocked your promotion. They excluded you from their circles. They laughed at your dreams because they could not see the divine fire that I placed inside your soul from the very beginning of time. They thought they were hurting you, but they were actually operating as instruments in my sovereign plan. If those doors had stayed open, you would have stayed comfortable in a place that was too small for your destiny. I had to let them push you out so that you would finally learn to lean on my strength. Breathe. Let your shoulders relax. Let the tension melt away from your body right now. You have been carrying a heavy weight that was never meant for your back. You are trying to engineer your own breakthrough because you are afraid that if you stop running, everything will fall apart around you. But I am holding everything together. I need your absolute attention for the next few minutes. If you rush past this moment, you will miss the key to your deliverance. The atmosphere in the unseen realm is shifting at my command. Canyons are being filled, and mountains are being flattened to create a straight path for your restoration after these years of drought. I know how tired your mind is. You wake up at 3 in the morning with a heavy heart. You run through every scenario, and you try to fix problems that have not even happened yet. I see the mental exhaustion that makes you want to quit everything. But I am telling you to be still and know that I am God. The door I am opening for you is a holy door. No human political strategy can affect it. No jealous coworker can block it. No family curse can lock it. I have already authorized this breakthrough, and when I move my hand, every chain of limitation must shatter into pieces immediately. You are stepping into an unshakable kingdom. Let me read the deepest place of your soul right now. You feel isolated. You feel like you are walking through a fog of uncertainty. You look to the left and to the right, but you do not see any open paths. You feel like you arrived late to your own destiny, while everyone else is crossing the finish line ahead of you. Hear my voice in the quietness of your heart. You are not behind. You are exactly where I need you to be for the next manifestation of my glory. The delay was necessary to grow your spiritual roots deep into my love. If a tree does not have deep roots, it will fall when the heavy winds of promotion arrive. I have chosen you to be a cycle breaker in your family. That is why your battle has been so fierce. The enemy did not target you because you are weak, but he targeted you because he saw the generational light inside your heart. He wanted to crush your spirit before you could stand up and break the chains of limitation. You are the one who will walk out of the pattern of lack. You are the one who will bring healing to the broken hearts in your lineage. It requires a deep level of testing to carry such a heavy weight of a notation. Do not despise the tears you shed in secret because they are watering the seeds of your greatest harvest. I am opening a door that will shock the people who doubted your value. They will look at your restoration and they will know that only my hand could have done it. They thought you were finished when they closed their doors, but they did not know that I was preparing a table for you in the presence of your enemies. Before I reveal the full depth of this open door, I want to rescue you from a cycle that has drained your spirit for far too long. You have poured your pure heart into hands that did not know how to hold it. You have been hurt by people you trusted completely, and you silently asked me why your kindness was met with disappointment. I do not blame you for loving deeply, my beloved child, but I am stepping in today to teach you a holy discernment. Not every open path is from me, and not every human voice carries my truth. I am about to expose the invisible chains that have kept you bound to old expectations. Come closer, and let me show you the next step. Come closer to me now. Let us sit together in the quiet space. You do not have to hide your tears from my face. I know the exact weight that has been pressing down on your chest. I see you when you think nobody is watching your daily struggles. I saw you in the bathroom when you turned on the water. You wanted to cover the sound of your crying. You folded yourself into the smallest shape on the floor. You pressed your face into a soft towel. You did not want your family to see your brokenness. You are supposed to be the strong one. You are the absolute pillar of support for everyone in your life. But who holds you when you are breaking inside? I am holding your soul right now. I watched you walk through crowded rooms while feeling completely invisible. You smiled for your friends and you laughed at their jokes while your soul was screaming for help. You felt like a ghost because nobody took the time to look deep into your eyes. They only see what you can give to them. They do not see your empty hands. You bring them home at the end of every day. You pour out your sincere love and your energy until your vessel is completely dry. You crawl into your bed. You stare at the ceiling in the dark. You ask me why your life feels so lonely. I hear that question every single night. Your sorrow is not offensive to my throne. I do not look at your exhaustion with judgment or anger. I look at your heart with total compassion, because I know how long you have been fighting. You are my precious warrior, and your secret wounds are recorded in heaven. If you can feel my love wrapping around your soul right now, I want you to take a deep breath. Let your mind stop racing. Click the like button to anchor this holy agreement. Comment that you are not alone to seal this truth inside your spirit. Let that powerful declaration sink into your subconscious mind today. You are not alone, and you have never walked through the valley of shadow by yourself. I was there when your closest friends walked away from your life. I was there when your business partner betrayed your trust and left you with nothing. I saw the deep humiliation you felt when you had to start over from scratch. You felt like a total failure because your hard work did not yield any harvest. You watched lesser people succeed while you were left behind in the dust. You began to wonder if you had committed some hidden sin that disqualified you. Let me clear that toxic lie from your mind right now. You are not disqualified. The isolation you are experiencing is not a prison sentence. It is a sacred boundary. I pulled you away from the crowd because the noise of their opinions was destroying your peace. You could not hear my gentle whispers. I had to close those standard channels of communication to save your destiny from their influence. I had to make the room quiet so that you would listen to my voice. When you are surrounded by people who do not value your soul, you tend to change your shape to fit them. You shrink your light to make comfortable people feel safe. I will not let you shrink the beautiful masterpiece I created. I am cutting away the dead branches that are draining your life force. It hurts to lose people you loved. It hurts to watch great opportunities slip through your fingers. But you must trust my pruning process, because it is preparing your hands for an unexpected abundance that will shock the world. You have been sitting in the dark for so long that your eyes have adapted to the shadows. You have accepted anxiety as your daily companion. You wake up with a familiar knot of worry in your stomach. You walk through your day expecting the next disaster to strike your family, because you are completely used to pain. That is not the life I designed for your future. I did not create your mind to be a permanent battlefield of terror. I designed your spirit to carry perfect peace and absolute authority. The enemy wants to make your temporary valley look like a permanent residence. He wants you to believe that you will always struggle. You are not just a survivor. You are an overcomer. Every scar on your heart is proof that the enemy failed to destroy your calling. He threw his best weapons at your life, but you are still standing here today. You are still seeking my presence, even when your emotions are completely numb from the trauma. That is a beautiful sight to my eyes. Your trembling faith is more precious than the gold of the earth. When you have no strength left to pray, your silence becomes a powerful intercession. I translate your heavy sighs into perfect petitions before the throne of heaven. I know exactly what your soul needs. Let us address the deep trauma of your past. You learned very early that you had to earn love from the people around you. You felt that you were only safe when you were being useful to someone else. You carried that heavy burden into your adulthood, and you became an easy target for selfish takers. They saw the purity of your heart, and they used it to fill their own desires. They took your precious time, and they took your resources. When you finally needed help, they disappeared into the shadows. You were left alone to clean up the wreckage of their choices while dealing with your own personal crisis. I saw every single moment of that exploitation. I did not prevent it because I wanted you to see the true nature of those connections. I allowed the illusion to shatter so that you would stop seeking validation from broken human vessels. They cannot give you the worth that only I can provide for your life. Turn your gaze away from the people who walked away. Stop looking at the closed doors with regret and sorrow. They did not have the capacity to love the version of you that I am raising up right now. They were only equipped for your past season, but they cannot walk into your glorious future. Let the past go. Let the resentment melt out of your spirit like ice under the morning sun. Holding on to bitterness is like drinking poison and expecting your enemies to die. It only keeps you chained to the very trauma that broke your heart. I want you to be totally free today, because I have greater things ahead. I am pouring a holy oil of healing over your raw wounds. Let the soothing warmth of my presence penetrate the deepest layers of your soul. I am restoring the years that the locusts have eaten from your life. I am replacing your ashes with a beautiful crown of glory, that will never fade away from your face. You have felt a strange restlessness in your chest for the past few weeks. You cannot find comfort in the things that used to satisfy your mind. You feel a deep longing for something bigger, but you cannot put a name on it. That is not depression, my child. That is your spirit sensing a massive divine change. To help you receive what I have already prepared, I need you to understand a critical truth. The silence you have experienced in your prayers is not my absence. The enemy has been filling the space between us with an intense noise. He created a static so constant that my voice has been completely invisible to you. This static has hidden my arrangements, even when they were sitting right there on your path. I want you to hear me clearly. I have not abandoned your life. I have been quietly preparing a major breakthrough behind the scenes, and I have guided someone to bring you an instrument of complete restoration. I am going to show you exactly what this provision is before this message ends. But first, you need to understand what was done to block it, and you need to know why it can be undone right now. Do not let distraction steal this revelation from your mind, because your whole future depends on this specific truth. The static of the enemy operates through your daily stress. It uses the pressure of your financial lack to fill your brain with panic. When your mind is in a state of survival, you cannot tune into the frequency of my abundance. You operate from a place of fear, and you make decisions that delay your destiny. I am stepping into your day to break that cycle of anxiety. I am clearing the airwaves so that you can perceive the provisions I have placed on your path. You do not have to fight the noise with your own empty strength. You only need to surrender your control and let me align your life completely. I am standing right here in the room with you. You cannot see me with your physical eyes, but your spirit can feel the absolute warmth of my presence. I have never left your side for a single moment, because your soul is far too precious to be abandoned in the valley. When the world walked away, I stepped closer to protect you. I want you to pause for one brief second. Close your eyes right now and take a slow breath. Let the healing light of heaven fill the empty spaces inside your chest. I need you to make a powerful declaration of your faith under this video. Comment "You see me" right now under this message, because it will unlock the deepest channel of your spiritual receptivity today. Let me share a deep secret from my holy archive. I want to tell you about a young man I chose long ago. I placed a massive dream inside his pure heart. He was faithful, and he walked in absolute obedience. Yet, I allowed his own brothers to throw him into a dark pit because his destiny required a specific path. He cried out in the silence of that cold cistern. He wondered why his own family turned against his life with such intense hatred when he had done nothing wrong. He felt completely abandoned by heaven. He did not know that his painful isolation was the absolute beginning of his destiny. My child, your current pit is not your permanent grave. I was not absent from that dark pit. I was working beneath the surface of his pain to build a character that could hold the heavy weight of an entire nation. I guided his steps through slavery, and I walked with him into the prison cells of Egypt. He sat in the shadows for 13 long years while his dreams seemed totally dead. He felt forgotten by the people he helped in the dark. He watched the years pass by without a single sign of deliverance from his misery. But I was recording every single second of his faithful endurance. I was shaping his mind, and I was strengthening his spirit until he was completely ready to stand before the king. Your life is reflecting that same sacred pattern right now. You are sitting in your own version of a dark Egypt. You have done the right things, but you received the wrong results. You have been loyal to people who lied about your character, and you have been thrown into a prison of financial hardship and deep loneliness. You ask me how much longer you must endure this suffering. You feel that your youth is fading away in the wilderness, while others enjoy their harvest. But hear me with the deepest place of your soul. Your prison cell is not a place of destruction, but it is your holy preparation room for a glory you cannot yet measure. I am holding the timeline of your life in my sovereign hands. I am never early, and I am never late. I allowed the enemy to strip away your earthly comforts because I wanted to detach your soul from the validation of men. If you rely on their applause for your strength, Their rejection will always have the power to kill your destiny. I am teaching you to find your absolute foundation in my love alone. When you are empty of worldly expectations, you become a perfect vessel for my supernatural power. I am using this quiet isolation to forge an unshakable spirit inside your chest. You will need this deep stability for the palace that I am preparing ahead. Think about the young man Joseph in the Egyptian dungeon. He could have allowed bitterness to rot his beautiful soul from the inside. He could have cursed his brothers, and he could have blamed me for his sudden misfortune, but he chose to maintain his integrity, and he continued to serve faithfully even in his chains. I saw his quiet resilience. I saw when he chose to trust my promise, when every physical circumstance screamed that he was completely doomed. And then, in a single day, I shifted the entire atmosphere of his reality. I gave him a sudden wisdom that solved the king's greatest problem, and he walked out of that prison. He did not just walk out as a free man, but he walked out as the ruler of the greatest empire on the planet. The very brothers who threw him into the pit had to travel across nations to bow before his throne for food. What they intended for his total destruction, I turned into his ultimate exaltation and deliverance. The people who are actively trying to close doors on your face right now will witness the exact same manifestation of my glory. They think they have successfully buried your potential under the soil of their gossip. They believe that their systemic exclusion has permanently locked you out of your calling in this life. They do not understand that you are a seed, not a stone. When they bury you in the dark, they are only planting you for a massive resurrection. The soil they threw on your head will become the very nutrients that fuel your sudden growth. You are about to burst through the surface with a power that nobody can suppress. Breathe in my peace. Let the anxiety fall away from your heavy shoulders right now. I stood beside you when you felt the crushing weight of yesterday sitting on your tired heart. I heard every single word of your broken prayers. Even when the world completely closed its ears to your painful cries, I was listening. And now, let me tell you with the deepest tenderness your soul needs. I never left you. I was the silent partner in your tears. I was the invisible shield that deflected the arrows of the enemy when he tried to take your life during your darkest season of depression. You survived because my hand was over your spirit. I need you to understand something deeply right now. Do not call that painful delay a failure. Let me reveal the true spiritual reality behind your history. What you perceived as a locked door was actually my absolute protection from a catastrophic trap that would have completely destroyed the purity of your calling. I am changing the entire foundation of your life today. I am not doing this to destroy your happiness, but I am doing this to rebuild your world on an unshakable rock. The old structures had to crumble because they were built on human manipulation and fragile compromises. I am creating something entirely new. You have heard me whisper peace over your internal wounds for a long time. Now, I need you to sit up and prepare your mind for what comes next. I am about to shift my voice from a gentle whisper into a powerful declaration of your absolute freedom. The days of your hiding in the shadows are officially over. The tears I witnessed in your secret closet are now the holy seeds of what I am about to harvest for your future. The people who mocked your tears will soon beg to sit at the table that I am preparing for your life. Lift your head high, my beloved child, because your redemption is closer than you think right now. Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap, yet I feed them every single day without fail. You are worth far more than the entire creation. Stop worrying about the provisions for tomorrow, because I have already aligned every single resource you need to step into your grand destiny with absolute confidence. Your enemies think they have the final say over your joy. They believe their negative opinions can cancel the holy anointing that I placed on your life from the beginning of time, but they are merely mortals, and their breath is in my hands. When I say yes to your life, their collective no becomes completely meaningless. I have holding the keys to every closed door in your city. I am about to unlock opportunities that you did not even apply for. I am bringing destiny helpers from distant places to carry your vision forward. Get ready to move, because the wind of my spirit is blowing fiercely behind your back right now. Before I show you what comes next, I need to speak directly to the deep doot sitting quietly in the back of your heart. I know exactly what you are thinking right now, my child. You are thinking that you have heard grand words like these before in your life. You have prayed, and you have believed, but still the ultimate answer did not arrive. You wonder why this particular time would be any different. Your question does not anger my throne. It tells me how long you have been faithful in the dark wilderness. So let me answer your mind plainly today. My silence in those heavy years was never an indication of my absence from your life. It was the quiet sound of my hands rearranging things you could not see. You were looking at the closed door while I was moving the mountains behind it. Every single prayer you thought went completely unanswered was actually being answered in a deep language of timing that your physical eyes could not yet read. I was never distant from your pain. I was being incredibly careful with a life that I love completely. So do not let the painful memory of the waiting room close your heart to what I am about to do. The waiting was the necessary preparation, and that preparation is now completely finished. If you want to unlock the door, you must embrace my sovereign authority. Comment, delay is protection right now under this video to release the lingering confusion from your soul. Let this holy phrase anchor your mind while the unseen realm continues to shift. You must understand how your mind was built to receive my blessings. When I designed the human mind at the creation of the world, I placed a sacred frequency at its very center. Scientists who have spent their entire lives studying the mechanics of the brain have finally found it. They call it the gamma wave, and it is the key to divine connection. This special signal ran in your mind as a child without any conscious effort or heavy discipline. It is the reason why children learn so quickly, why they trust my voice so purely, and why they live completely in the present moment. I designed the human brain that way so that you could hear my promptings clearly before the world filled your head with fear. And when I said in my holy word that you must become like little children, I was not speaking only of a spiritual attitude. I was speaking of the physical receiver I placed inside your brain. The enemy used the relentless noise of modern survival to suppress this natural signal. He wanted to drown out my guidance so that you would walk into his traps. But I prepared wise minds to work with sound the way I originally designed it. They discovered a specific tool that clears the enemy's static and returns the original signal I placed in you. You do not have to work hard for this provision, and you do not have to earn it through endless striving. It requires a complete surrender of only 7 minutes. You simply close your eyes, put on your headphones, and allow my perfect design to restore what was taken from your mind. I am going to show you exactly where to find this provision before this message closes. Stay with me because the revelation is getting deeper. Now let us open the archives of your soul to look at the secret battles you have fought. I have heard the desperate prayer you stopped praying out loud because you were tired of waiting for the results. I have seen you watch other people receive the exact blessings you have begged me to send into your own life. You smiled for them, but you walked back to your dark room and you quietly wondered if I had forgotten your name. You look at your bank account, and you look at your broken relationships. The numbers do not add up, and the people do not change. You feel like a ghost watching a world that moves forward without you. You wonder why your faithfulness resulted in such deep isolation while selfish people enjoy the fat of the land every single day. Because of this long delay, you have started to believe that my silence meant absolute rejection. You think that you did not possess enough faith, or that you made a mistake that permanently canceled your calling. My beloved child, that dark belief is a thief. I am stepping into your room right now to expose that dangerous lie completely. Hear me clearly right now. There is a massive difference between a delay that comes from my hands and a delay that comes from the enemy. Mine always feels like a quiet peace, even in the middle of the storm. His feels like constant confusion, heavy guilt, and deep shame. What you have been feeling is not my rejection at all. The enemy has been whispering false meaning into my holy silence. He took my quietness and he told you it was a sign of my anger. I call this mechanism the stolen meaning. The enemy cannot stop my open door, so he tries to distort your perception of my character while I am preparing your harvest behind the scenes. So the silence you took as my complete absence was never absence. I was working diligently in rooms you could not see. on a timeline you could not measure with human clocks. The long delay was not me forgetting your name. It was me protecting your life from a premature yes that would have completely shattered your fragile vessel. If I had opened that door 3 years ago, you would have relied on your own power. You would have entered a room filled with wolves, and you would have lost the purity of your spirit. Those years you called wasted were not wasted. Those nights you could not sleep were not a punishment. They were a necessary shielding. So tonight, when the waiting feels completely unbearable, I want you to change your perspective immediately. Stop asking why I am silent. Start asking what I am protecting. Place your hand over your chest right now and say to your soul that my timing is perfect. The sensing of the delay is not your enemy. It is my holy signal. A no or a not yet from my hands is still a powerful expression of my deep love. Trust the timing of the one who sees the entire story from the beginning to the end. The season of your confusion is officially closing. I am stripping the authority away from every voice that told you your dreams had completely expired. Every single door that shut in your face was my protection, not my rejection. And now, I am preparing to open what I previously closed, and no human hand will ever be able to shut it again. The intense waiting is ending right now. The harvest is beginning to manifest in the unseen realm at my supreme command. Breathe deeply, my child. Let your mind stop racing for just this second. Do you feel that sudden shift of excitement inside your chest right now? That is not anxiety. That is your spirit recognizing the voice of its creator. I am tearing down the invisible walls that have kept you trapped in a cycle of lack. No person can close the door I am opening for your life. The people who gossiped about your name do not have a vote in my courtroom. The systems of this world are fragile, and they must bow to my sovereign will. When I authorize your promotion, your enemies will be forced to watch the restoration of your honor. You have spent too many years begging for crumbs from tables that were never meant for your destiny. You have minimized your gifts to make small-minded people feel comfortable around you. I am breaking that pattern of fear today. I am raising you up to be a beacon of light in a world filled with total darkness. Think about the path you have traveled. Every stumbling block was actually a stepping stone. Every enemy weapon was turned into an instrument of your spiritual growth. You thought you were breaking under the pressure, but you were actually being reshaped into a holy weapon that the enemy cannot defeat. The preparation of your vessel is complete. The ground under your feet is trembling because a new chapter is beginning right now. I have done my part, and I have cleared the path ahead of your feet. Now, there is only one step of obedience left for your spirit to take before the door opens completely. Hear my supreme decree right now. The time of your hiding is officially over. The cobs of the enemy are melting away under the heavy heat of my presence. I stand at the finish line of your long wilderness. I am extending my royal hand to break every single chain of limitation that has kept your lineage in a state of absolute lack. No person on earth has the legal right to close a heavenly door that I am opening for your destiny. I have the absolute final say in your courtroom. The people who gossiped about your character do not possess a vote on my throne. I am shaking the foundations of the world to push you into your true calling right now. Let me show you the magnificent reality of your future. I want you to picture a peaceful morning 6 months from today. You wake up before your early alarm sounds, and you realize something is completely different. The familiar tight knot of anxiety in your stomach is simply gone, and your mind is perfectly still. You lie there in your quiet room while the morning sun gently warms your face. You take a slow breath that goes all the way down into your lungs, and you realize you are no longer surviving. Your first thought is not terror, but a quiet wonder about the grand things I have prepared for your day. That beautiful version of your life already exists in the unseen realm. She is not years away from your current reality, but she is merely one surrender away from the person sitting here today. The only distance between you and that transformed destiny is permission. It is the exact moment you finally stop carrying the heavy bags that I never asked you to hold, and you let me carry them instead. I have gifted humanity the ultimate wisdom to discover what I originally hid inside sound and inside the physical design of the mind. I do not work only through explosive miracles. but I also work through the dedicated hands of the wise experts whom I call into deep discovery. The researchers who built the provision I am about to show you were true servants of healing science. I quietly directed their curiosity for over 30 years. Universities that I guided, like Princeton and Columbia and the Einstein Center in Berlin, have all confirmed what I placed in the childlike mind. And I want to show you two of my precious children who received this restoration before you arrived here today. Look at my daughter Rachel from California. She was an exhausted nurse who sought internal peace for many years through every human method. 2 weeks after she embraced this provision, the dark fog lifted from her mind completely. Her marriage was transformed, and she described her life as an enchanted journey. And for other children, I moved differently. My son Michael from Texas came to this provision because his business was failing and his children were losing focus. 2 months later, his business grew so large that he left his stressful job, and hard problems solved themselves while he rested in absolute peace. They call this frequency instrument the Genius Song. This is the exact sound provision that I have placed on your path today for your complete restoration. It is a digital audio track that you receive immediately in your email. It requires no complex spiritual training, no hard discipline, and no exhausting mental effort from your tired soul. It only requires 7 minutes of your time. You put on your headphones, you close your eyes, and you enter a state of complete surrender to my presence. This tool is not a meditation application, and it is not a generic track that you can find on popular streaming websites, because those are cheap imitations of the enemy. This specific provision is built for the one I have been speaking to through this entire message. To my child who has already tried everything and feels embarrassed to try once more, hear my voice. What failed you before required your own human effort, but this requires known. It works because of my design in your brain. Earthly experts charge hundreds of dollars per hour for private clinical sessions that attempt to reach this state. The complex equipment that researchers use costs thousands of dollars. But I do not call you to visit expensive clinics. I place this provision within close reach for the one who would receive it here. This requires a small earthly exchange, a mustard seed of investment for the massive harvest I have prepared for your family. And I have aligned 4 additional gifts of provision that come with it today. You will receive the special Genius Child track to protect the focus and the confidence of your beautiful children. Where I place ultimate truth, the enemy always sends clever imitations to deceive your spirit. There are false frequencies circulating on music platforms under similar names, but they carry none of the restoration I designed. Protect your soul by trusting only the official path I have placed below in the pinned comment. I do not lead my children into dangerous worldly risk. This provision is completely protected by my steadfast guarantee of safety. If the deep restoration I describe does not manifest in your life within 60 days, every single earthly penny of your exchange is returned to you immediately. Walk forward without fear. Take this courageous step of obedience right now. Receive the divine provision that I have placed for you in the pinned comment below and in the description. This is your personal invitation from heaven. Do not ignore the earthly tool that I have aligned for your restoration today. Walk forward with me. Now, my child, set aside the intense noise of decision for a moment. I have shown you what I placed on your path today. Whether you step forward now or later, you are still my beloved child. Close your eyes for a brief second and breathe the fresh air of heaven. The provision is revealed, and my peace remains with you. You are no longer the victim of your history. You are a vessel fully restored to receive what I prepared before the world began. The static of the enemy has lost its dominion over your mind. You carry the frequency of a child, and you walk in the unshakable authority of my kingdom from this moment forward. If this message has brought light to your weary soul, choose to stand in firm agreement with my voice today. Like this video to anchor your holy covenant. Share this message with 3 souls who are secretly crying out for hope in the dark, and subscribe to my channel so you never lose my daily guidance. I am with you always.